a strong, healthy, happy family. Let me just get this thing started up. Right? And every family is to be a happy, healthy, and strong family. And once you're healthy and happy, your family will be strong. All right. Good. Yes, right. Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, this is that the series that I did with this person. All right. That's a different series. All right. So tonight, a strong, healthy, happy family. Let's go ahead as we pray and ask God's blessings upon the presentation tonight. Father in heaven, we want to give you thanks for your care and protection over us from morning until now, and for so many benefits that you have bestowed upon us. This evening, we are in our right minds. We can communicate with you and communicate with each other. We come one more time tonight to focus on the family. And as we come, dear Lord, come divinely close unto us. Open our hearts and our ears so that we will understand your words. And I pray that it will make our families a better one. And I pray that at the end of the service, let us be conscious not to take any praise for ourselves, but I pray that all the praise will be to you. Raise all glory, thanks to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so a strong, healthy, happy family. From the book Adventist Home, and I've been saying from the start this series that, you know, this is the book for all couples. This is the book for persons who are planning to get married. And this is the book for persons who are in marriage, right? Journey in marriage. You need to read this book. She said, those who marry enter a school from which they are never in this life to be graduated. So you're not going to get a certificate at the end of your, no, you're not going to get a certificate because you're not going to graduate, right? Because you never graduate from this school. It's a school. However carefully and wisely marriage may have been entered into, few couples are completely united when the marriage ceremony is performed. What does that mean? What she's saying is that before marriage, we spend so much time talking about some things. We don't really get the chance to really know the person, right? And so a very few couples are united when the marriage ceremony is performed. Because when you're at the altar, so many things are going through your mind. And so sometimes all your mind is on is just the wedding. Okay? That's all some person's mind are on. The real union of the two in wedlock is the work of the after years. As life with its burdens of perplexity and care meets the newly wedded pair, the romance with rich imagination so often in best marriage disappear. And you know that marriage goes through around 4 stages. You have the romance, that is after you get married. Then you have the part where you take off the mask, right? And you really see the person, who the person is. Before marriage, you did not see that person, right? And so when the mask is removed now, we call it the reality stage. So you have the romance and you have the reality, okay? And when the reality stage hits you, you don't like it. And many persons sometimes end up in divorce or they separate because they don't like the reality stage of the marriage. Okay? And as I said from time to time, we marry the personality, but then we have to live with the character. And living with the character, you don't like how the character live, right? So first said they can't bother, so they escape. Some endure the marriage, some enjoy the marriage, and some escape from the marriage. Okay? When the character is start to show. Now, life is seasonal. Just like how we have the months and seasons of the year, so is marriage. Marriage has winter, summer, spring, and autumn. And let's look at them. Summer season in marriage, easy breezy, everything is going well, right? And everybody nice and everything is going all right. We move from summer and we go to autumn when there's a change. And this is a part that persons don't like. Sometimes you have a change, a baby comes in the whole thing now. Job, perhaps a change of job. But all of those are okay, you know. Some people are is all right with that. But the change that a lot of people don't like is the personality change. Right? The personality change. As I said before, the reality stage of marriage now. Okay? When the mask is off, you see the real person. And so some persons don't like the personality change. That is autumn. Then you move from autumn and you go to spring, season of busyness. Everybody's busy up and down and all over the place, right? And as they say, busy under Satan's yoke. Because sometimes you're busy not doing one thing. And sometimes you're busy and you neglect your family, you neglect your marriage because you are too busy. Then you have winter. Everything falls apart now. Bankruptcy, sometimes crisis, loss and grief. And this is the part that a lot of people sometimes don't deal with well. When you lost a spouse, right? Or if you're divorced, the persons don't like it. You lost, and then with your loss, you grieve, right? And so a lot of persons can't manage loss and grief because it's a journey, right? It's not something that you lose a spouse today and then by tomorrow everything is all right. No, right? It's a process. And you don't get over grief. You go through grief, right? You go through it. It takes time to heal, right? And sometimes the healing process is long. And some persons, depending on your personality, sometimes it's short, but the point is that you don't get over it. You go through it. Okay? So that's the season of marriage, right? Now, researchers have found that the majority of strong, healthy, happy families have the following traits. Now, if your family don't have some of these traits, then perhaps you need to sit down and you need to talk with your family. If it's you alone, you and your husband or wife needs to talk. If you have children, then you will get the children together, the in-laws together, right? Because they're a part of why you are not a strong, healthy, happy marriage and family. And this was put together by some family counselors and researchers. And one of the persons was Kay Kuzma, right? One of our Adventist writer, right? So some of the things that I'm going to present tonight, it's from her, and I've put in some of my things that I've studied over the years and see what we constitute a healthy, happy family. All right, so let's look at them now. Commitment. Now, this is the first. If you are not committed, then you're not a strong, happy family. And your commitment must put God and your family first. Commit to helping each other become everything God designed you to be. Notice this, you know. Everything God designed you to be. Not what I designed you to be, right? But what God designed you to be. But you must be committed to God first, and then you commit to your spouse. The Bible says you should love the Lord your God with what? All your heart, soul, and body. And then you're going to love your neighbor as how you love yourself. So God first, and then everything else comes after. Okay, so the first thing is commitment. We must be committed. Then the second thing is appreciation and affirmation. If you are not affirming and appreciating others, something is wrong. Give positive attention letting each family member know they are special. Strong families focus on the strengths of each other, not on the faults. You know, some spouses like to find fault with their partners and they don't take the time to find something good. I was doing a seminar and I asked a lady who came up and she was just reeling off how the man stayed this, how the man stayed, and how the man this, and how the man that, and how the man that. And I said to her, I asked her, I said, can you give me one thing that is good about your husband? One thing. And she had a challenge. But finally, she admitted that there's something good about this man, right? Because when you look at it, this man cook. Who can look after the food, right? But she was finding all the negatives, right? All the faults with this man. You need to spend time to appreciate and affirm the person. It is said that in the worst of us, there's something good, and in the best of us, there's something bad. Don't care how a person bad, there's something good in that person, right? And we need to find the good in that person, and we need to appreciate it and affirm them. Okay? So appreciation and affirmation. Time together. Now, do you spend time together? Healthy families enjoy being together. You like to be in each other's company. And if you don't enjoy the company of each other, something is wrong. Right? But you must enjoy your company. You must be longing to be with your spouse. Right? That when they come home or one come home before the other must long to reach home. And while at home, the other must well want to see their spouse come home. To spend time together. Quality and quantity time. Right? Not just quality time. Quantity and quality time you spend together with each other. Okay? So time together. And healthy families does that. Time together. You work together. You play together. You enjoy leisure time together. Times together. Now, do you play with your spouse? Huh? You must play with your spouse. Right? Find something to play and to laugh and talk about. Play with your family also. Right? Your children, right? Grandchildren, if you have any. Play together, work together, and enjoy leisure times together. Very important. It's not only a family that prays together, stay together, you know. A family that plays together, stays together. Okay? Yes, when you play together, you will also stay together. So time together. Family members may be busy, but they don't let jobs, school, or personal hobbies steal family time. Don't care how busy you are. Find some time to spend with each other. Because I know the job is there, you don't want to lose the work. You're going to school, you don't want to, might be, you know, mess up your school time and all of that. But you must can find some time. If you see when you come home from work, right? You say, all right. You spend a little time together. Husband and wife can have what we call pillow talk, right? That is a part of spending time together, right? But maybe you want to go out, find a time. I know some persons, they go out like on Saturday nights after church, they will go out. You seem to go in the supermarket and walk up and down and buy something or whatever. That's time together. You laugh and you talk together, right? And it helps, right? You must have just some sad, long faces. No, friends. You must be joyful. And once you're enjoying your marriage, you are going to be happy, right? If you are truly enjoying your marriage, you don't have the time to be sad, 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 sad every minute. You must enjoy your marriage together and your family together. Communication. Now, on the screen, you'll see two pictures. Now, I had a problem with the picture on the left. What I was doing this presentation, the last family life I did, I was doing this presentation. And somebody said to me, no, the picture on the left is okay because they are communicating with each other. They are texting each other in bed. Well, I don't see it like that. I rather the one on the right, where the man is really communicating with the spouse, right? Communication, eye-to-eye contact, right? One of the best form of communication. Now, to understand each other, a family has to invest time to share their feelings and opinions. And that is what communication does. Tomorrow night, we'll be looking at communication, and I'll go further into communication, the things we say and the things we do. Okay? So in order to understand each other, you have to invest time to share your feelings and opinions. And that's where communication comes in, right? Because you're going to talk. Now, I'm going to tell you four kinds of talk that will save our marriage and our family. Practice these talk and see what happens. Small talk. This is what you discuss how work was, the news of the day. Yeah, so you go to work and you come home and you find out, how was work today. Perhaps something is in the news. Like how you have the court case now, cartel is in the news. Everybody talking about cartel. Maybe you and your spouse can talk about cartel. Or you can talk about something else, right? We had election the other day. Perhaps you and your spouse can talk about the election. Don't talk to anybody else about the election because people will label you. But you and your spouse can talk about, election. You can talk about what's going on in the news. Just communicate. I used to hear of this story. My mother used to tell me this man was in the country. Now he couldn't read. And so he takes up the paper one day, the newspaper, to read. And his wife asks him, honey, what's going on with the news? And he said to his wife, why, baby, hella papa talk. Man, all walk on them head. But what happened? He couldn't read, so he turned the newspaper upside down. So the person on the front page, head was down. So he thought that, downtown persons were walking on their head because he couldn't read. But the thing about it is that he was communicating with his wife, right? How is things going on in the newspaper? He said it to his wife, right? So communication. So these are what you call small talk. Discuss how work was, news of the day, and all of that. Okay? Then you have what is known as sweet talk. I'm quite sure that every couple on this platform, at some point in your marriage, you say some sweet things. We used to say roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, but not as sweet as you. And some nice thing, I want to see you, I want to hug you, I want to kiss you. Love is heat, you are sweet. When two lips meet, love is complete. Lots of kisses for you on this kiss day. These are some of the things, when I was growing up as a boy, they used to say you must have lyrics. Right? You must have lyrics if you want to reach the heart of a lady, right? As a man. Well, they do have that now. It's not lyrics they want now. They want car and house and what you call it now, some phone or whatever. They want no sweetheart not around again. Okay? Few people use sweet. Okay? So sweet talk is a part of a strong, healthy family. You must can say something nice to your spouse. You must can say something nice to your children, right? Something sweet to your children, right? It's not all the while they must just be disciplined. No, man. Say something nice. So we call that sweet talk. Then you have serious talk. No. What is serious talk? Health. Health is a very serious issue that now. Because one of you might be sick. And because you are sick, then a lot of other things is going to come into play. Finances is going to come into play. So you have to find money to deal with the health issue. Or perhaps the finances, you have to find something you might be not balancing the books the right and proper way, like how we discussed the other night. you're spending more than you earn. Serious talk that. Careers, very serious that also. Relationships, very serious. Okay? I was doing this presentation at a church and somebody asked about relationship. If a husband and wife must have a best friend. And I said, the only best friend you must have as a wife is me. And I must have you as my best friend. But it's very serious relationships, right? Perhaps it's relationship with your in-laws, right? So you talk, this is what you call serious talk. Health, finance, careers, and relationships are very, very serious talk. Okay? Then we have the best of all, spiritual talk. Talk about your walk with God. Yes, man, you can talk when you're having family worship. You talk about your walk, how many years you have been walking with God, your spouse. Perhaps one is walking with God more than the other. You find out from them how the experience was like. Are you enjoying your walk with God? Right? And you do this in your family worship, right? And the family that prays together stays together, right? And so spiritual talk, it's about your walk with God. And it's very important that we have our family altar. On Wednesday night, we are going to be looking at returning to the family altar, returning to Bethel. Okay? So come Wednesday night and you'll hear more about that one. So spiritual talk, a lot of couples not having the spiritual talk. You know why? No family worship. And you must meet each other, you must have a time. Early in the morning, you have worship, right? I know sometimes it's kind of difficult in the evening because sometimes you're coming from work, so it's kind of hard to might be habit. But your morning, you must not leave your house unless you have time with God. Ask Him to be with you on your journey, right? Sunday morning time, now you have a little more time. You can spend time Sunday morning or Sabbath morning. Although sometimes Sabbath morning you have to be rushing out because you have to be church and you're serving in a department in church where you can get up early. Get up from 5 o'clock, right? And you have your spiritual talk. You talk with God, you talk with your spouse. And you must have your personal devotion. Before you talk with each other, you must talk with God so that you know how to face your partner. Okay? So spiritual talk is very important. So these four talks will sort of help to build your relationship and make it into a healthy one. Fall in love with God so you can fall in love with your spouse. Fall in love with God so you can fall in love with your spouse. Play and a sense of humor. This is what I'll come back to now. Play together, laugh together, having a sense of humor during troublous moments. It's like pouring oil on restless water. It diffuses the tension and has an immediate calming effect. A sense of humor. You know why a lot of marriages last so long? They laugh together. They find a little joke to humor. You must find a little humor. I know what a humor, me and my wife, we know what a humor or what a humor is. And what works for me now necessarily works for you. So you will have to find something to laugh about and to play together, right? Very important. Sometimes when you're going through some troublous times, challenging times, you laugh it off, right? I think you have a song saying, laugh it off, something like that. Just laugh it off, right? And remember the Bible says, a merry heart do it good like a medicine. Laughter is medicine. Laughter is medicine for those of us who are health missionaries, medical missionaries, and those of us who are in health, you know that laughter is medicine. If you don't laugh, friends, you are not healthy. You must laugh and play together. So play in a sense of humor. Religion. What do I mean? Adventist home says, religion is love, and a Christian home is one where love begins and find expression in words and acts of thoughtful kindness and gentle courtesy. Religion is needed in the home. Only this can prevent the grievous wrong which so often embitter married life. Religion, and that's why it's good for both of you to marry somebody who you and them is in the same faith. Yeah. Don't marry somebody who you and them is not practicing the same thing. Right? Marry somebody who you share same religious beliefs. Very important. Because sometimes, you know, husband saying one thing, wife saying one thing, and you're all over the place. Okay? So it's good when the both of you can share the same faith. Adventist home, husband and wife need to be converted. This is a problem, no friend. No conversion. Okay? No conversion. And we need to be converted in order for the marriage to work. Conversion. Sharing a religious faith and having similar religious values and standards is extremely important. Worshiping together is a bonding experience. Worshiping together is a bonding experience. It bonds you together, right? Because you pray for each other. And in praying for each other, you're supposed here, you're praying for her, and he or she praying for him. So it bonds you together. That's one of the things with prayer in marriage. It bonds each of you together. Religion ensures family happiness. The conduct of the husband and the wife towards each other may be such that it will make the home life a preparation for the family above. Family religion is a wonderful power. Wonderful power. Family religion. Sharing responsibilities and roles. Right? The wife don't get up and do everything, or the husband don't get up and do everything. No, you must share. So sometimes one of you cook. Right? That's sharing responsibility. Dishes, washing, share, right? Not one person, you kill out the one person. Just doing every day they're doing the same thing. No. Husband and wife must share. Children also must help in the responsibility. Right? You have a child. You let the child do something in the house. You don't get up and do everything. No, friends. The child must also be doing something in the home. Right? I remember one of my teachers used to tell me, Brother Mark, he said that when he was in the country, right? It was even to carry stone. His mother and his father would say, take up the stone from there so and carry the stones over there. So giving him something to do. You don't make them cutting and enjoying life like pretty boy fly and sweet girl soup. No, give them something to do. Right? It will help them in life. Work is a good thing, you know. Work is a good thing. It makes you healthy. Okay? So work is a very good thing. Head of the family from the husband and father is the head of the household. He is to love, lead, and labor for his family. He is to love, lead, and labor for his family. He is to be the priest, the provider, and the protector. What did the priest do? Call the people together and present them before God. Job was a priest in his family. Every morning, he prayed for his children and asked God to forgive his children. Present his children and his family to God. Provider, you provide not only food, but you also provide spiritual guidance. Yes. Protect, you also protect them from false doctrines. So it's not just physical protection, you know, spiritual protection. Because you are the keeper of the family. That's the man. Right? So in love and lead and labor, he must be the priest, the provider, and the protector of his family. Okay? Because he is the head of the household. The Adventist now home again. The queen of the home is the mother. She's the queen. The mother is the queen of her household. She's what? She's companion, a companion to her husband. a comforter to her children and to her husband and caring for the children. That's the mother. She is the queen. And no other woman must take over this position. Your wife is the queen of the house. She's your companion, your comforter, and she cares for the children. Okay? The queen of the home. Service to others, very important, makes you healthy. Just as a pond grows stagnant if it has no outlet, so does a family reaching out and helping others bonds family together. When you help somebody, it helps you. It helps both the, as I say about love, it helps both the receiver and the giver. So the person who is receiving the help, it helps them. And you who's giving the help, it also helps you. Where you can't go stagnant. Ponds are stagnant, they don't move. And you have a lot of germs in it. But a river now flows, and goes out and takes over the place. You notice how the river just flow on the street and flow all over? Yes, that's what spouse must do. Touch other people's lives. Okay? That's what the spouse must do. Admitting to and seeking help with problems. Now, some men don't like this. Some men don't like this. But what I'm finding out now, ladies sometimes don't like it either. A gentleman called me the other day and he said he needs help. He and his wife had an issue. So I decided, you know, I was going to talk with them, right? And so he said that she is willing to get counsel. So I started the counseling with him and talked with him and everything was going on okay. When it was time now for me to talk with the lady, I said to him, call the lady and, you know, tell her that I want to talk with her also. And the man said to me, the lady said she don't want to talk, the marriage is over. She said the marriage is over. Right? So marriage goes through a lot of challenges, right? And if you need help, you must seek help, right? You mustn't sit down and say, well, you know, all right. And no, if you have a problem and you can't solve it, you have professionals who will help you. Okay? Right. Because we have counselors in our churches who does that. Okay? But you must admit to and seek help for problems. The man was getting married and he walked to the altar, he and his wife. And when the minister said that they were to kneel down, when the man kneeled down, at the bottom of his shoes, you had the word H-E-L-P, help, on the two shoes, the shoe bottom. So right here at the altar, he was saying to the congregation, I need help, right? So marriage from time to time will go through problems. No marriage is perfect because it's two sinners coming together to make a perfect couple, right? Two sinners. Your wife is a sinner and you are a sinner, right? And you coming together, and by the grace of God, the both of you will come together and become saints for the kingdom, right? So you're going to have challenges, and there are so many challenges in marriage, so many challenges in families, right? Where you can stick together and get help with the marriage. Healthy families are not problem-free. They just admit to the problems and get the help they need to solve them. Yeah, no family, no marriage can get up and say they are problem-free. None. But as I always say to people, my marriage is not perfect, but I'm happy. Yeah, but we have problems, and we just work at the problems, right? And Jesus is the problem solver. And the servant of the Lord says, in every difficulty, there is a call for prayer. Do you have a problem in your family? Difficulty in your family? Yes, pray. Difficulty at work? Pray. Difficulty at school? Pray. Difficulty in the church family? Pray. Right? And seek help. Okay? Common interests and goals. Right? The more a family has in common, the more its members do together having similar interests and getting behind goal. Common goal gives the family something to look forward to plan, and to experience together. Now, some families have a challenge with this because sometimes, based on might be certain things, you might not be what they call compatible, right? Or you might not have the same interests and goals, but you can come together and you can sit down and you can work out what is your interest and goals. And as I always say to people, you must have a physical goal, you must have a financial goal, and you must have a spiritual goal. Yeah. A spiritual goal, very important. And you might not be able to, we are not saying that people must think alike. No, but think together. Don't think alike, but think together. Because how I think about certain things, you and I are not going to be thinking the same thing at the same time. No. But we are thinking. Okay? So we don't think alike, but we think together. Treasure your spouse and your family. Treasure them. Treasure them. What's a treasure? Something very important. That just some people search for the treasure. I had a book when I was small, reading the name Treasure Island. Where they go on the island and they find the treasure, and then somebody wants to steal it and all of that. It's something that is priceless. So treasure your spouse and treasure your family. Talk to your spouse, talk to your family. Talk to your spouse, talk to your family. Say something to them. Okay? And then finally, thank God for your spouse, thank God for your family. You know, there's a time when you're praying. I do this sometime every December. You need to thank God for your spouse. Thank God for your spouse. Thank God for your children. Yeah. Just thank God. Thank God for the church family. Thank God for the leadership. How many on this platform thank God for their pastor? Thank you, Lord, for pastor. And I pray and I ask you to cover him. And I'm asking you to give him wisdom, knowledge, understanding, so that he'll be able to lead your church and lead it aright. Thank God for the pastor. And thank God for for his family also. Yeah. Thank God. Your spouse and your family. Church family and also your immediate family. All right? And I pray that by God's grace, tonight we have learned something to help us to, as a family, make it into the kingdom of God. Okay? Thank you very much. And I now turn over to the persons who are in charge.
Thank you, Elder, for such a wonderful presentation. Those are indeed words of life.